In 1999, Nintendo and Hudson announced a partnership which would see Hudson develop some games using Nintendo's characters which Nintendo themselves would publish. This should have been a match made in heaven. The Nintendo characters are gaming gold, and anything they're in should be classic, and Hudson were known as being very loyal to Nintendo, so as a developer they could trust. Nintendo were also keen to cement the N64 as being the gamer's choice for multiplayer games, and also Hudson had a strong record in this field with their ever popular Bomberman games. With that being said, Hudson set about creating Mario Party, a multiplayer board game which was published worldwide in 1999. Now I know what you're thinking, board games on consoles are usually painful experiences. Just look at ports in this genre for any other consoles and you'll quickly realise that they are usually either budget titles or very poorly received and sell very poorly. How was Hudson going to break the trend? Well, quite simply taking the board game experience, adding Nintendo characters and mini-games, and they had a surefire hit on their hands. You see, Mario Party doesn't play like any other type of game you've come across before. Well, back then it didn't anyway. The fact that now mini-games are added in droves to consoles is quite a new thing, but back then Hudson were really onto something. The game starts with a choice of boards to play, and they play out in the familiar style. You choose your character, roll the dice and move across a beautiful range of themed game boards. There are different spaces to land on which can help or hinder your game in forms of items or mini-games. The aim of the game is to obtain as many stars as possible during the selected number of rounds. There is a story to the game, however, it is very weak. The Nintendo characters are having an argument about who is the biggest superstar, so essentially they decide to battle it out on the game. There's really nothing more to it than that, and to be honest, this is hardly an RPG, so it doesn't need much of a backstory. Anyway, I digress. Back to the game, and as I mentioned previously, there are mini-games, tons of them. There are over 50 in total in the game, and they range from one player all the way to all against all brawls. Quite simply, this is a saving grace of the game. You'll quickly realise that you don't really care all that much for the board game side of things, but you can't wait just to get stuck into a mini-game, and thankfully they're very frequent. The mini-games, like in any compilation, are a mixed bag. Some are small variations on others, while some are great fun. My personal favourites are the 3 against 1 games where you basically get the chance to gang up on and screw over another player. It's so fun seeing the frustration of your friends as you cost them coins left, right and centre. That's a nice segue onto the next topic, however. The game really is designed to be played in 4-player mode. When playing with 3 other people, it's great fun seeing everyone's reactions to your choices and having a great atmosphere of competition as you battle out to be the winner. This is totally lost in solo play, and whilst it is fun the first time through, you'll quickly lose interest if you don't have anyone else to play it with. The controls are all tight and responsive. There's not exactly much they could have done wrong really with it being a board game, but the controls for each mini-game are explained clearly before the event and usually just rely on a few simple movements, which means that anyone can play this. It doesn't matter if they have never played a Mario game before or don't know button combos, because there aren't any. You could play this with your grandma and they would still get it, which is why this game has the Nintendo magic all over it. The graphics are also top notch. The boards are varied and not only in design but also difficulty, and they each have their own traps and tricks you'll need to learn to win the most stars. There are a few oddities like the way Luigi looks, but it doesn't alter the gameplay experience, and all in all it's a good looking game, and if you've played Hudson's other N64 games, it has the same kind of look to it. Now you may be wondering if Hudson also did the music. Well, yes they did, but don't worry, some of the memorable Nintendo melodies you know and love made their way into the game. This includes the sound effects too. However, the whole presentation does seem to lack that Nintendo polish. There are some jaggy edges which you wouldn't expect in a Nintendo game, and some of the minigames look quite flat and uninteresting. I would have liked Nintendo to have maybe sent a small team to assist in the finishing touches, but don't get me wrong, this is still a great looking game. Like any Nintendo game, there are secrets to unlock, but I won't spoil them for you. If you go back and play this game now, I'm sure you'll love it. Just make sure you have friends to play it with, and you'll be in for a blast. It's just a shame that after the Wii, the minigame market seems to have been tainted by poor quality games. But don't let that put you off, as Mario Party on the N64 will not let you down. So how do you remember Mario Party? Do you have memories of playing this with your family? If you do, then let me know your stories and memories in the comments below. And if you'd like me to review the rest of the Mario Party N64 series, then hit that thumbs up button, and until next time.